States Marine Corps, and I asked him about, I've been asking him about his service and about his bio, and he says he's got it all right here. You do it better than I am. So I'm going to let you tell these wonderful folks about your service in Vietnam, or about your service in general.
Service in general, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was born in Woodward, Oklahoma, 1945. 1957, my home broke up, and I went and lived with my aunt and uncle till after high school. And then I took automotive in high school. So I went to work for a gentleman in Tulsa, Oklahoma that bought all the oil refinery vehicles. I went through the engines and stuff. We painted them and sold them like new. And along come a dear letter from Department of Defense. You have been called up. So I went down here at Oklahoma City, went through the physical, everything. I flunked one test. My hearing. Reason I flunked it was because I was making stainless steel oil field gasket with oil refineries in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And machine was loud. And so they sent me back home and back to the employer with a note from the Defense Department. Moved me to a quieter job. They moved me to a quieter job. 30 days later, I come back down to Oklahoma City, and I passed the hearing good enough to get jury. You'll be back here tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. That evening, I flew from Oklahoma City to San Diego, California, and boot camp. After boot camp, infantry training. The priority of a Marine is infantry. I don't care what other MOS you're in. You are main concern infantry. And so I took and got done there and come home on leave. Back in Woodward, Oklahoma, I still have my grandmother alive, and mother and aunt there, and cousins. So I went after that I went to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, the home of the good drinking water. Unfortunately, it didn't settle in on me. First time I took a drink out of the water buffalo in the field, you could taste the gasoline and whatever else was in the water. I had the instant heartburn. I've had it from that point on to today. I've had 18 procedures on my esophagus and upper stomach, pre-cancer taken out. And that's why I guess I'm still alive. But so anyway, after Camp Lejeune, I put in for the West Coast because all my relatives that I had on the West Coast had none on the East Coast, so I put in for the West Coast and went to 29 Palms out in the desert. That's where we formed the 5th Guns, 155 and 8-inch Howitzer, self-propelled. I was trained by a very well trained staff sergeant. His name was Walters. He was from Walters, Oklahoma. Uh, and that training I've received from him paid off to get on down in Vietnam. Because anyway, we finished forming the company there. What we had, they shipped us out to Okinawa, and we continued forming the country there. Then we went on a field exercise to Japan. We're going to go do some shooting up in Mount Fuji. That didn't happen. The Japanese run us off. Because it was the anniversary of the bombing. And so then we went back to Okinawa. And from there, we finished in about another 35, 40 days. We finished the company enough to get going. We loaded up, we went on boats to Vietnam. Landed at Red Beach, Vietnam, which is south of Da Nang, Marble Mountain, where we first pulled into. I was made a sergeant the day we left the ship into Vietnam. I took over one artillery gun, had 5 crew members, and we got split up. One platoon stayed in Chulai, where the headquarters was. One platoon went to 61. I went to Hill 51. And if you read the history book of 51, you'll know what happened. It was not a good deal. But we say we're here today to walk and live because jet bombers dropping napalm. We was outnumbered 4,000 to 1. Is what saved it. And the operation was called Operation Swift. After that operation was over, we had beat the Viet Cong, lost 100 and some Marines, more than that, closer to 158, I think. Plus, there was a chaplain in there. He was an Italian priest. All he wanted to do was be with the Marines. Well, he was killed in that battle because he was out with the Marines and infantry when they got ambushed, and he got the Medal of Honor for his valor. And on this hill, after the infantry went out, there was only 60 Marines left on this hill. That counting our platoon, 8-inch platoon, a 106 recoil rifle unit, and a code unit 155. My gun, we fired so many rounds, finally we just had to quit fire out of it because with a rope 100 feet behind the gun, the flame was coming out. That's how wore out the breech block was. And like I say, we was outnumbered 4,001. We had them coming at the perimeter, trying to get over, trying to find a way to get in. I ain't going to say what we did to stop it, but we stopped it. After we won that battle, then they pulled us out and sent us north. Well, monsoon season, where it rains day and night. It never stops. The Army was coming in to replace our locations. They'd outnumbered. They had a general with them. All I had was the captain. So one of the tanks threw a track. And so we just about had it together. We was ordered to take tank crew and get off the road so they could get on out. And so we sat there till just about dusk. we took off. Well, our first Purple Heart's what I'm going to tell you next. We run over a 400-pound detonated bomb under the road. This artillery gun weighed 46 tons. It blew the rear idler off the left rear, and the gun went in the right paddy. I was on commander hat, stalking my headquarters. I landed on the back of the tank in front of us. Had my flight jacket on. It still tore all my ligaments and my muscles up my back. I got back trouble from that day. I still do. So then, we fought all night long. We was sitting ducks out there. So finally, next day, there was more gunfire around us. It happened outside the village of Tamkay, Vietnam. October 3rd, 1967 to be exact. Took tank retriever, pulled my gun out of the right paddy, got the rear idler, pulled into the South Vietnamese Army base. I cut and trimmed that idler and welded it on, back on. 3 days later, I was sitting at the hospital in Chulai. That night of this bomb went off, we medevac 6 Marines out. 5 of them was off my gun. 1 corpse.